It's, it's kind of our history and our tradition, so it's hard to give that up.
A North Valley for their quality crop, Koda Farms is known as a family-owned and operated business. It's a rice farm. It's the largest one and the oldest one in the state of California. But they nearly lost it all after they were sent to an internment camp during World War II.
CBS 47's Alex Backus joins us with their story and their secret to success.
Ken and Catherine, most rice farms here in California are grown up in the Sacramento Valley, and they are large operations. But Koda Farms has remained family operated and focused on quality all these years. Not only have they become a huge success, they also helped other Japanese Americans along the way.
It's what we know, it's what we do. It's kind of defines who we are, kind of our history and our tradition, so it's hard to give that up.
This flooded rice field isn't something you'd expect to see in the Central Valley, but this land in Dos Palos is where the Koda family has been growing rice for over 90 years.
We wouldn't achieve self-satisfaction if we put out secondary grade product.
The story of this farm goes beyond the grain, and against the odds, it has grown to be a huge success. Keisaburo Koda was the founder of Koda Farms. He was born in the Fukushima region of Japan in 1882. Ross Koda is his grandson.
He wanted to come to the U.S. to live the American dream.
Keisaburo learned English and moved to California in the early 1900s. After trying several business ventures, he wanted to farm. But like many immigrants, he couldn't buy land under California's alien land law.
He had two sons, and so he established a corporation with his sons. That way he was able to purchase land.
In 1928, he bought this land in South Dos Palos and started his own rice farm. Business was growing until the start of World War II. The family was ordered to an internment camp in Colorado.
His idea was just to close down the farm during World War II while the family was gone. But the U.S. government ordered him to keep the farm open to support the war effort.
He entrusted the farm to someone he barely knew and left. When the war ended, they came back to another nightmare.
My father drove nonstop to get back here to find out what was going on, and found out that most, substantially all the assets were gone.
But the Kodas did not give up. They took what little was left and rebuilt their farm. Keisaburo wanted to help other Japanese Americans. He worked with several civil rights groups, and that land law that once was an obstacle became a catalyst for change.
They were eventually able to influence the overturn of that alien land law.
Over 70 years later, they are preparing the field to plant organic rice for this year's harvest. But the family doesn't just grow what can be a bland commodity. Their rice is the highest quality and considered one of the best.
We're trying to produce quality. We go beyond the minimum requirements for the USDA grade #1.
Koda Farms grows 3 types of rice: short grain rice, sweet rice used in mochi, and medium grain rice. Martha Stewart has called it the best sushi rice on the market. The secret goes back to Ross's grandfather and the integrity ingrained in the family.
He'd only be satisfied if he could deliver the best quality product that he could produce.
That quality has captured the attention of restaurants all across the country and the Central Valley. Their organic rice is the base of poke bowls sold at Butterfish, a local chain in Fresno and Clovis.
And their product is honestly the best of the best. There's nothing that compares.
A family who nearly lost everything became a huge success and helped others along the way. Today, they still run business with many of the same workers, growing their distinctive rice in the valley and sharing it with the world.
I think he felt like he did meet his goal of living the American dream.
Just an amazing story. After everything that happened, he came back to the valley, prompted change, and became a huge success. And we will have a link for where you can find their rice here in the valley on our website, yourcentralvalley.com. Ken and Catherine.
Oh boy, Alex, what a fantastic story.
Amazing. I look forward to trying their product.
Yeah.
If I haven't eaten it already.
I've been at Butterfish, so I've had the rice. Yeah, fantastic story, Alex. Thank you so much. Coming up.